and make a pad out of them, make something else that's not just a vocal out of the vocal that you have. And then we're setting up our breakdown by cutting out the tops, keeping the bass in, and then bringing the piano chords back. One of my biggest pet peeves when I'm listening to music is if I just hear the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. So how can you do same, but different? Thanks for listening, guys.
My name is Chad McDaniel. I'm from Boulder, Colorado, and part-time in Manhattan. In Manhattan, as I realized, there's no place to play drums, and so originally I was looking for a spot to just play drums. And I came upon this place through a Google search and kind of started scrolling through and seeing everything that is available here. And one thing that's super available is this DJ program. And I'm not a DJ, or at least I wasn't a DJ, but I've always been curious about it. So I came in and I talked to the guys and they put me into this DJ intensive, and 2 weeks into it, I'm getting pretty comfortable doing it. A big part of this program is learning about the music industry and how to promote yourself and what it takes to do music production, which is also part of this DJ class, what it takes to get your name out there, what it takes to contact record companies or distribution companies. A lot of the business stuff that I also had never really thought about. So it would take me forever to buy equipment and get it set up and try to figure it out on my own or through YouTube videos or things like that. But being able to come in here and all this equipment just available and guys here to just very patiently walk me through it. It was a crash course. I learned more in this 2 weeks than I could have learned in a year easily. I'm going to take that knowledge and kind of sit down and diligently work through what I want to do. But ultimately, I want to get some songs out. I want to play out and just kind of see where it goes.
I want to welcome everybody to the Sound Collective. We are a collective for you guys to come and meet as a community. We have a bunch of really awesome events planned for the summer. If you guys want to just dive in, learn Ableton, Logic, learn an instrument like drums, keyboard, vocals, any of that stuff. I mean, we're really excited to build with you guys as a community. No further ado, I will introduce my brother, an amazing producer. Lefty's going to go and do a breakdown.
Thank you everybody for coming out here for this. So this was like a topper. Had some hats, some bongos and claps. I did an EQ to cut out some of the sharpness of the hat because it was conflicting with the other loops that I had in there, playing hi-hats. Does anybody have any questions? We got another one here. Follow Sound Collective on Instagram to keep up with our events. Thank you guys for hanging out.
One cool thing to remember about the pocket operator when they're synced up all together is to make sure you set the volume for all of them. So I'm gonna go over here and press play on all the pocket operators. So the speak is gonna be the main volume out. So let's say I wanna turn down this. It's also gonna turn down the KO since it's connected to that one. So just make sure that all the sounds are set to a good amount, to a good volume. To learn more, go to soundcollective.com.
Hey, what's up? My name is Morsi over here at Sound Collective. I'm a New York City resident, born and raised, been DJing all over the place, from nightclubs to festivals to cruises, you name it, I've been there. I've been in the music world forever with plenty of releases from so many record labels. To name a few, Strictly Rhythm, Deep Root Records, Nervous Records, Purple Tea. Through my techniques, I can teach you how to create the music and then get it to the right record labels. I usually do DJ instructions, how to use Pioneer turntables, music production using Ableton or Logic, and I'll show you exactly how you can create something from nothing and make it a big banger. So for the DJ intensive, I went down and got really nitty-gritty into the details on how to get a DJ gig from a complete beginner. So my teaching style, I would say, is one-on-one and direct. I like to communicate and kind of read the audience, read the person that I'm working with. And then not only do I like to just teach, I kind of like to connect afterwards and make sure that you're still on the right path of the tips and tricks that I may have taught you. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to just take this course and kind of feel like you're left with nowhere or no type of guidance. I can be that type of guidance for you.
Hey, I'm Nick Neutrons, and at Sound Collective, I'm developing a course in which you can see a lot of my workflow hacks. And one of the workflow hacks is a serum rack that can make all kinds of sounds. In this case, I'm first gonna make a bass sound. I'm gonna use this filter knob to close off some of the highs, and I'll use the unison detune knob to give that resound. And I can sweep the wavetable if I want a pulse wave or a saw wave. I think this time I'm gonna go with the saw wave. Now I'm gonna write a synth arpeggiator part with the same rack, and I'll just change the parameters to be a bit different. Increasing the amplitude of the attack of the amplitude rather, just to make it fade in. Use some filter envelope. This is just one of the workflow tricks that I have in the course for Sound Collective. If you go to soundcollective.com, you can check out all the other tips and tricks that I have that I've put into this course. Look forward to seeing you there.
Hey, you guys got 2 minutes before showtime. You ready?
It was at this moment she knew she wasn't ready. If only there was a music school that offered in-person and online learning opportunities for both traditional and electronic music with access to professional gear and a creative community. Oh wait, there is. Welcome to Sound Collective. Become a music industry pro and expand your musical horizons online with our subscription platform. Visit us in NYC for lessons and classes to meet other aspiring musical creatives. Connect and collaborate with students and award-winning faculty and expand your musical horizons. Everything you learn about electronic music production can apply to instruments and vice versa. Well, maybe not everything. Welcome to your new musical home.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
This is Smack Pack Season 1 finale.
We back, baby.
This is the cream of the crop. The best of the best.
Who you got your money on? Devon is on his boom bap heavy. Jewels is like on some atmospheres, doing something totally different over there. Flames, emoji, a lot of thing happening with the crazy switch ups. Overlord, you know, that bounce is ridiculous. This is why I love hip hop music, man. It's just so colorful, you know what I mean? This is it. This is the grand finale. It's going down.
Crunch time for real. 3, 2, 1.
Step away from the machine. Von Drummer, let's see what you got, baby. Drum game crazy.
Woo! I think it's Divine Drummer, bro.
Divine Drummer. Congratulations, baby.
What's happening, Divine Drummer?
Hi, I'm John. I produce music under the name Proper Villains, and I'm teaching a course on how to program percussive sounds in X for Serum. I'm going to show you a quick lesson right now on how to make a TR-808 clap in Serum. Turn your level all the way down, then we're going to assign LFO 1 to the level. We're going to switch it to envelope, and we're going to turn off the BPM sync. Drag this to left, and now we have a very basic noise pulse. So a clap's just sort of like a little pulse of white noise with teeth. So we're just going to go right in and draw the teeth. Turn on the distortion. We'll pick up our hard clip and just crank that baby. Bring the mix down a little bit. And there you go, a TR-808 clap in Serum. If you like what you've heard and I piqued your interest, check me out on soundcollective.com.
Want to thank Sisters in Sounds for hosting this event in conjunction with Sound Collective, and we just want to open the space to everyone.
People ask me all the time, Ariana, how do I get booked? How do I get booked? And the truth is just make and play good frickin' music.
Give space, take space, but don't make yourself small. Establish your boundaries and stand firm.
I was motivated to enroll in the program because I wanted to take my music career to the next level. I had no production skills before this. There's so many skills and so much knowledge that I gained. My favorite thing was, number one, learning all the different effects and features and how deep one can get. It kind of gave me the frame of mind to know, okay, this is what I need to know for now, and this is what I can know for later, which is a great starting point for me. The information and the knowledge I gained, I could apply immediately and go home and start playing around and start making music.
Welcome to Sound Collective membership. Join Sound Collective membership and get access to our facility and all the hardware, DJ, and production equipment we have here on site. Today, we're talking about the Arturia Drum Brute analog drum synthesizer. This is a fully analog drum machine, which has very nice tactile controls, which allow you to control the sounds and shapes of the various drums that are part of this drum synthesizer. We've got kicks, snares, claps, and various percussions, zaps, cymbals, etc. I can shape any one of these. I'm going to start with the kick. I can change the pitch, the decay time, the impact, and the sweep. Join Sound Collective membership, gain access to our facility, and make music with hardware today.
Cool, peace. My name is Pudge, AKA Pudge Mental. Born and raised in Jamaica, Queens, DJ, producer, MC, and educator. Been DJing for about 25 years now. Had the honor of DJing for Fat Lip from the Far Side, Micah 9 from the Freestyle Fellowship, Voice out of New Orleans, Eagle Nebula out of LA. We'll be teaching the art of mixing, which is transitions, going from one song to the next, holding some of those transitions, which can also be looked at as a mashup or a blend, remixing, and some basic DJing skills like cuts, scratches, and the idea of playing what you like and also catering to the crowd, and find that happy balance between introducing people to new music and also giving them a little bit of what they enjoy, and finding a creative way to do that. My teaching style is kind of like the Bruce Lee be like water. It's like the style of no style, whatever fits at the time. So if I see somebody needs a little bit more encouragement, I'll be a little bit more suggestive, or, maybe you could do this. Sometimes people get stuck and get caught in their head. I've seen students go from looking at the program like, what is this? What am I supposed to do here? To then having a full-blown remix that you can play out in the club tonight within a week and a half, 2 weeks, and that's great.
Well, I want to welcome everybody here to the Sound Collective. We are your home for connecting artist communities, for you guys to be able to come here, utilize all the gear, and hopefully make some connections and collaborations that you guys can do in the future. Our guest who needs no introduction, here is my man Craze.
What up, guys? It's being recorded, so I'm going to watch what I say. Started DJing 50 years ago. Been doing this for a while. Won a couple competitions. You gotta take a lot of those lows out so the sub can sit nice in there. And then things just started happening, and then I was like, ooh, maybe I could do this, maybe I could do that. If you're just thinking about that shit at night, that's cool. But I'll wake up in the morning, like today I woke up in the morning and I was like, I got an idea, we should do this.
Welcome to the Sound Collective, the community created to help make music your way. Located in the downtown financial district of Manhattan, our 28 Broadway facility is fully equipped to provide you with the tools of today's top industry professionals. Are you a DJ looking to practice for your next gig? A drummer who needs a place to practice your rudiments? Our practice rooms and workstations are the perfect place to craft your sound. Looking to host live performances, group events, practice sessions, or more? Our performance space is the perfect place to get the full Sound Collective experience. Need a place to record your next project? We have a professional, quality recording studio available and studio engineers to help you build the sound you are looking for. Unlock your ability to use all these amenities and more with the Sound Collective membership. Have more questions? Send us a message to learn more.
What's up, guys? It's Nog. I'm here at Sound Collective for our Industry Mixer. This event is for all local DJs, artists, producers, and nightlife professionals to come and network with each other. Here at Sound Collective, we're going to be able to use a bunch of different production stations, booths, CDJs, and so many toys that are every audio producer's dream. This is the first of many events we're going to have at this venue with all these great artists and talent together, and you're going to have a chance to have all your tracks listened to and get some feedback as well, so stay tuned for more.
All right, I want to welcome everybody here to the Sound Collective.
We're going to spend the next 45 minutes basically talking through some new equipment, and then at the end, you guys will just get a chance to hang out, kick it, try out new gear.
The space is amazing. It's going to give students the opportunity to play with not just software, but hardware as well, like hardware that has inspired people to create.
My favorite part of the night is really connecting with all of the DJs from the area, learning about their vibes and what they do and how they innovate.
Got a lot of info and news and updates and stuff that I didn't have answers to. To be part of this community is amazing.
This place is awesome.
I'm Yahaira V. Fortunato, and I'm from New York. I was looking to see what would be the perfect location and place for me to learn music and learn the skill of production. When I finally did walk in these doors, I fell in love with the facility. I've learned how to control habitual habits in terms of workflow, which was something that I really wanted to master. But just overall, just my perspective on what I thought was creative music to having a perfect structure in where now I can have the confidence to really say who I am in this industry. I am super thankful to have someone like the people that you have, like Morsi, who I work with. He is just so experienced, and the minute I sat down with him, he really understood my journey and sound and helped me control it. So he is just excellent at what he does, especially when it comes to helping someone out understand themselves, because I really didn't understand what I was doing. I know I'm here to stay.
I am here at Sound Collective, and I took the intensive DJ course. I was looking to learn to mix music, see how everything works, get into music industry.
You learn everything from the equipment, the software, the hardware, how to beat match, how to mix in and out different songs, looping effects, and also business aspects of DJing if you ever want to become a professional DJ.
Coming in, just being met with that welcoming environment definitely has enhanced my experience.
I really liked the space, I liked the environment. There's so much equipment that I feel like you get to just experiment. We have time before class and after class where we can just go out and play around with stuff, and I think that's been really helpful too.
I would recommend this course to anybody. It does not matter.
This is a good class for beginners just to get a starting point. It's a great place to just learn what you don't know and where you could improve on.
Anybody can do it, whether you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s. If you love music, definitely follow your passion.
Well, the party is off to a good start. Children of the night.
With no further ado, a man that needs no introduction. I feel like he has shaped a lot of artists here in New York City. Alex English.
What is an EPK? Like electronic press kit. A summary of what you've done. I'm going to show you a few things. If I was cold calling somebody and I didn't know who they were and I sent them this, it's an easy reference for them to figure out who you are and what you're doing in your career. Another question that I get asked a lot is how to start a business. Depending on how much income you're making, it might be time to start an LLC.
Hey, what's up? I'm Lefty.
And I'm Rich Furness, and welcome to Groove City. Lefty and I are both DJs and producers here in New York City. We also work here at the Sound Collective, and we run a record label called Quincy Boy Records with our boy N2N.
Yes, and we couldn't be more excited to bring this new podcast to you, where we bring DJ culture to the forefront, interviewing producers and DJs, telling their backstory, followed by a 30-minute DJ set. So we hope you enjoy it, and thanks so much for watching.
Much love.
Yo, welcome to Behind the Booth, everyone. Thank you for coming. Yeah, got a good crowd here today. My name's NKNX. I'm half of Bunkr. The other half is Josh, right there. We're a DJ studio located in Newark, New Jersey. Some of you look familiar. I know some of you have been to Bunkr already. We're also half of Behind the Booth with Showcase. So thank you guys for being here with our stacked panel today. Let's give a big round of applause for our panelists here, please. So why don't we start with you, Omar? Just say a little brief description, who you are, what you do.
What's up, everyone? My name is Omar. I am a music producer, DJ, curator, artist, sort of whatever needs to be done, I'm doing it. Yeah, I live in Bushwick. I moved here a couple years ago, and I'm from New Jersey originally, so shout out New Jersey.
Shout out New Jersey, man.
Cool, yeah, Omar is my neighbor now over in Bushwick. I'm Tyler, aka TMD. I'm a DJ and an event producer and founder of the collective Third Floor Sounds. We'll talk about more stuff later.
How's it going, y'all? LeVar, formerly known as Dick by Air. I know it's pretty funny, pretty weird. I had to go the corporate route now. But born and raised Brownsville, Brooklyn. And I kind of don't like to give myself a title, so I just call myself the man who wears many hats.
What's up, y'all? Ethan Tomas. I'm based here in Brooklyn. I'm an artist, DJ, producer, event curator, so similar to most of these folks. Yeah, he's founder of Ginger, so shout out Ginger. And I was born in Cleveland. I'm Ghanaian by origin. Yeah.
Shout out to Ohio in the building. I'm Showcase, born and raised in Jersey, DJ, organizer, all of the above. And I'm Haitian and excited to have you guys here. So
let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's give a big round of applause, please. So if you haven't been to Behind the Booth yet, we talk about all things nightlife, DJ, events related. So I have a good feeling we're going to have some really good conversations here. Let's get started. What are, can each of you describe your style and genre that you play and some of the projects you currently worked on or worked on in the past?
So genre-wise, I play global music, I would say. So music from all over the world. So I play a lot of African music, Caribbean music, just a mix and blend of all cultures. My sets are, depending on what type of event I'm doing, kind of just dependent on the vibe. So I have a couple parties of my own that I do. So one is called Omar's World, which is like my open format global show, high energy, more like a headline type of flagship show. And then I do one called Sufi Sessions, which is a new one, which is more soulful and more spiritual in nature. So I also do that from 6 to 10 p.m. on a Saturday, so it's a little different than that normal nighttime slot. And also I do another event called Coffee with Omar, which is a daytime slot, which would be like a Saturday or Sunday during the daytime. So those are the three kind of initiatives that I have of my own right now that I've been spearheading.
Cool. So as far as my style goes, I'd say I'm primarily a house DJ, but I also mess around with dance music, electronic music, club music. I'm the resident DJ for my collective, Third Floor Sounds, but I play plenty of parties across primarily Brooklyn and Lower Manhattan.
So I know a lot of people don't like this word, but I personally consider myself an open format DJ, only because I like playing everything. So even if you give me an hour or 2 hours, I try to cater to every single person that's in the room. And I think that came from like growing up in a Caribbean household. Like when you're a DJ from the Caribbean, you have to know how to move the room. It's not always necessarily about how many hits you have in a crate or what's the biggest song that came out that week. It's like, can you move the room without all of that? So I started off opening most of my sets when I first started DJing, and I learned that just playing everything kind of gets the job done a lot more than just a genre-specific section. So I like to play whatever comes to my heart.
Yeah, I consider myself very rooted in African dance music. That's my home. I started DJing when I was really young, and I was mostly open format. So I have like nothing but love for open format. I think it trains you and gives you a versatility that'll carry through, even if you want to niche down later. Like starting with open format is great, but I focus specifically on African dance music. So that's amapiano, gold music, three-step, Afrobeat, yeah, all of the above. I play dancehall too. We're in New York, so it just has to.
I would say for me, my origin really came from being a Jersey club DJ. Being born and raised in Jersey, I was addicted to Jersey club. I used to make a bunch of mixes and put them out on SoundCloud for any given reason, whether it be spring break or Christmas or whatever it may be. And then it kind of evolved into more of like house music as well. And then, as I grew up, I became more of an open format DJ. I guess primarily hip hop, R&B, dance music. But now as I've evolved my career, I feel like I'm more of a chameleon. I kind of adapt to the different rooms that I'm in. Like my set at LeBain will be completely different from my set at Sold Out Dates or whatever it may be. So, yeah, play a little bit of everything.
So I know we have a really diverse group here. I want to get into events. I want to get into what are some of your favorite events at the moment, kind of why, and we all program our own events, organize our own events. So from our perspective, I want to get into what are some of the events that you guys are going to. It doesn't have to be specific, or it could just be the type of events you're going to that you're liking right now, and kind of why, and what are the elements that you like about it. Whoever wants to start.
I mean, I'd probably say more. I bounce between like large scale day parties. I feel like you can meet a lot of great people. You can have conversations there, but you can also get closer to the DJ and lose yourself in the music. And then shout out to him. And then more intimate nightlife parties. I think there's a party that me and my boy Fly do, Ballads and Bottles R&B party. It's like a really tight space, Jolene sound room, amazing sound system, great lighting, and there's a special kind of energy in there. So yeah, I kind of bounce between like where
Shit. The hell is that? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like the emergency. For y'all that can't hear it, there's like a guy saying test coming out the wall. For me, I think when I go out, so I don't really drink or do anything. So like when I go out, it's purely for the music, and that's like all I want to hear. And to be honest, like I like to go out and hear things that I haven't heard before. So like unreleased music. I like the DJs that go really deep. So like Descendants is a party that I really enjoy because they always bring people from, mostly from different parts of Africa, a lot of South African DJs, and just getting to hear them immerse you in their world for an hour, sometimes 2 hours. That's always really special to me. And then shout out my brother Omar. He started the event Sufi Sessions, and it's like the goal of I mean, you can speak to the goal of your event, but it's just a really soulful experience. I think it's one of those places where you can go and hear music like C-sides of a record, like the songs that you just never thought you would hear at a club. You could hear them there. So that to me, that's like, I love spaces like that because the stuff can get a little repetitive.
I don't have a direct favorite because I've kind of been getting bored lately, gotta be honest. But one party that I've been to twice and I've been seeing it like being very consistent. There's this kid from Jersey named Black Daniel White. He does what's called the Black Pop Party, which I think is like, because I like supporting upcoming artists. Like, I know everybody is like more established and like a lot of people have their events all together, but I normally have most of my fun when I'm going to like somebody who's like kind of new to the nightlife scene. And I remember when Daniel came to New York and started doing his event, and he had asked me, he was like, yo, do you think people are going to come to this? Like, I don't know. I'm like, bro, you're playing music that a large majority of people wish would be played in a club. So he's kind of created that space for like the niche alternative person. So like all of those like deep cuts on SoundCloud, a lot of the songs you grew up on during like the blog era and everything, like they play most of those songs there. And I've had a very, very good time the first time I went to that party. I've had a lot of fun like that since, because like you were saying, it's like a lot of things are very repetitive. A lot of people repeat sets. A lot of the same music gets played, or like no music gets played at all. So if I had to say anything, it would definitely be the Black Pop Party for sure.
I want to give him a big shout out too. That's good that you met. He's a good friend of ours. He's been doing it for a long time, and he's been through a lot to get to this point. A lot of losses. So I'm really happy for him. I want to shout him out.
I'd say I venue hop around Bushwick primarily. I feel like there's a lot of really cool underground house and electronic artists that are kind of bouncing around. There's not as many branded party scenes that I follow per se, but I'm often finding myself trying to check out some newer DJs that aren't in my circle already. So a lot of those clubs are very, I'd say, open-minded, have open-minded audiences where people are really coming to explore new music and dance.
Yeah, I would say like Descendants is definitely a big inspiration for me. I mean, like Selection also had been a big inspiration for me growing up with music. But yeah, I think Descendants just does things really nicely and authentically, especially being a collective that brings talent from Africa and from South Africa. Like that's something that really not very many people I think are really doing in the city. So I think they also just the way that they do everything and produce everything is very inspiring to me. Like I really just I like the way they do everything. So I also go to Jinja a lot. I mean that's like my frequented party. So I feel like shout out to you, bro. Like that's a party that I keep going to consistently. And yeah, I mean I think I have a lot of other friends that are DJs. So like a lot of times they won't necessarily be throwing a party of their own, but they'll be DJing something and I'll go out to support them.
In the events that you guys program and being oversaturated in New York, everything's oversaturated. It's a party for everything, right? What do you guys do for your personal events to stand out from everything else? Or what have you learned throughout time to how to cut through all the other events going on? And I want to start with Ethan.
Yeah, I think it's a really good question. I mean, New York, there's 500 parties a day, like it feels like. For us, we've always tried to tap into a very specific energy and just be very consistent. So if I were to describe what makes Ginger unique, it's like we are kind of like a more alternative Afro scene. Like we're very, very open to people of all walks of life, people who want to hear and I think specifically we like to focus on the cutting edge of like Afro dance music. So like it's not necessarily the party where you're gonna hear all of the bangers back to back, and it's like it's totally okay. We've had people that it's not their favorite, and they might not come back. For every one of those, there might be 2, 3, 4, 5 people that are like, I specifically want that. And I think it took a long time to realize that you have to be okay with losing that one person to gain those 4, and being okay with somebody being like that just wasn't for me. And it's weird. Like as a DJ, you have that that conditioning to want to keep the room full and want to keep everybody happy, but sometimes you got to let people go to have an identity. And that's like one of the hardest things I had to learn doing the party over and over. It's like to be unique and to cut through, you have to stay rooted and stay consistent in what you do. That might mean playing music that isn't popular yet, but is going to be. But I've just had to really just, be resilient and just kind of hang in there when stuff isn't going exactly like I want it, because that's how you it's how you get on the wave earlier. You know what I mean?
For me personally, and I gotta speak specifically on the past 3 years, I've learned to scale down because there's a lot of events every single day, like literally every single day in New York City. And I'm somebody that's very popular, like born and raised. I've thrown parties in like every single borough in New York City. And one thing I've learned is that a lot of parties have different themes, but a lot of the same music gets played. And I didn't want to get lost in that kind of world of, okay, we're going to go to Laval party, but the same DJs that we kind of been seeing for the past like 5 days or past 5 weeks or even sometimes the past 6 months are going to play there, or they're going to be there. Or sometimes even the same people will show up. So I've kind of been scaling down and just been taking my time to just go out as a civilian and try to support like other people's events, try to have fun like on my own. And I feel like a lot of us, we don't really get the time to do that because we get booked a lot. We're getting booked every other week. I started saying no this year just because I'm just like, I want to kind of give space, because I felt like a lot of my events were taking space. And some people will try to say, well, nah, you got to get your money and this, that, and the third. But I'm like, I'm kind of looking at the bigger picture. And I've been telling myself, like, like in the next 5 years, what does this look like? So I've scaled back so that way I can figure out what I can do differently once everything kind of like gets quiet.
So Third Floor Sounds is a relatively new project that I started about 1.5 years ago. I also intentionally started pretty small. I know people always speak to community at parties, but I really did want to build it intentionally. So when I did start those first parties that were recorded in more intimate settings, I personalized almost every invite. So every person there expressed excitement to be there. They were excited about the project, and they were there for me and the communities that I support and DJs I support. So again, I really started organically to the point where it started off friends, then it was friends of friends, and then it became people who saw their friends online. So that was the people piece. As for music, and we've kind of spoken a bit to it, party sounding very similar and being repetitive. I actually have somewhat of a briefing session with the DJs before the party. So I kind of give them a sense of what I'm trying to do with the project so they understand what they're stepping into, and it's not just being any party. But I do encourage them to play their own music they're excited about, music that they haven't had the chance to play at other parties yet. So the sets that you see on our channel are often quite unique. So that's what I'm doing in a sense to make it stand out.
For me to stand out, I mean, there's just like a couple things. Like definitely, I feel like everyone is competing for the 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. time slot. I mean, that's like your standard club hours. I just feel like these days things are kind of changing with sentiment of like people and what they actually want to do and when they go out and when they want to like consume entertainment. So I feel like for me, just experimenting to do something from 6 to 10, and it was a ticketed event as well. So that was really surprising for me to see like 200 people come to that, and like the energy was great. We all went to bed by like 11 o'clock. I mean, I went to bed. I don't know if everyone else, but yeah. And then doing the coffee shop thing that I did from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. That was also wild because I was like, oh my God, there's like 200 people here and it's 11 o'clock in the morning. So I just feel like we have to like listen to the people around us, and like shout out to my girl, like, you know, she gets tired at night, like she's not trying to come out. And so like, but her sentiment is shared by a lot of people. So it's like, for me, I'm just like, let me try to meet people where they are as well, versus like just trying to compete with everybody who's doing the same exact thing. Not saying I don't want to do the 11 to 4 time slot. That's still important, but it's not the only thing that exists. So I think that's mainly my main thing, is like just trying different times.
I love early parties so much.
So what do you guys do to cut through the market?
I think it was a lot of what Ethan said, a lot of what T said. Like, I just kind of understanding what the market may need, or in the same breath, not trying to really reinvent the wheel, just kind of add your take of what something should look and feel like. I think with like Ballads and Bottles, it's like another R&B party, but it's something special about that. It's like we were intentional about the space that we chose. We were intentional about the marketing, how our page looks, like from down to the way I type the captions and like how I send invites to people, and you know, just all of these things that create like a very significant or special experience for someone, you know, where even down to like the actual event where, you know, you're gonna hear some records that you may not hear at other R&B parties there, and we take pride in like executing that to a high level. And then we have a thing we do at 12 o'clock. We make a toast with everyone. So, you know, we tell everybody like we're making a toast at this time. We take them up to like a 10, and then we stop, and then we tell everybody, hey, welcome to Ballads and Bottles. If this is your first time, nice to meet you. We want you guys to kind of like let loose, put your phones in your pockets, meet somebody new, hug somebody, kiss somebody, everything. We say everything. And then we always play Shot For Me. And then like everybody just kind of like really lets loose after that. And we've sold out every single one we've done. So it's like an amazing thing to be able to like move 300-400 tickets and know that we're building something special with that. But we weren't trying to be like all the way over here with it. We just wanted to do our own thing. But yeah, that's all I can really say, because I don't have anything other than that, like from a party standpoint that is different from what people are doing. But me as a DJ, I can do different things. You know, I can shape shift and go this way, that way.
To go off that, I think a lot of people think that when you start a party, it's a grand scheme. You already had all this laid out. You already knew you were going to do all this, and this is how you were going to cut through. But it takes time, and it takes doing a lot of these events and failing and over and over and over to realize what you need to change, what you need to adapt to.
Oh, yeah, that's a great point, because we started in 2017 in college, and we did it at like some loft, and we had like we created our own little bottle menu, and we told everybody to wear suits and dresses in college. It was crazy. And then the pandemic came. I think we stopped doing it, and then we brought it back last year, and it was like one of the greatest decisions, you know. So,
Tyler, you mentioned community. I want to talk about all of you. What are your thoughts on the word community, and how would you define it? Let's start
You
with
have an
Bunkr,
answer. I can tell
please.
you have an
We were talking a
Spicy
little bit
take
before
first,
this,
go ahead.
but
Oh man,
let's get this clip.
oh man. Me personally, I feel like, and it's just my own opinion. That's like my new thing. I gotta like put it on the record. It's just my opinion. I'm not saying that this is a fact. This is just based off of what I've been observing, like online when I go out, through a lot of discourse, through a lot of hate, through a lot of arguments, through a lot of debates. I feel like community has become a buzzword. 100%. It's become a buzzword because there are a lot of things that are actually community driven that people don't show up for. So like I know a bunch of DJs, I know a bunch of event organizers, I know a bunch of people that complain about events, always say, "Oh, where can I go?" and this, that, and the third. And I'm looking at this room and I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay. I'm like, this is a community right here. This is where the community actually is. The community is actually those people that come to your event and they're paying $40 to $50 round trip Uber to come to your event. They're paying $80 sometimes to $100 on drinks at your bar. Why? Because they're trying to support you because you're giving them a good time. I feel like it's kind of driven away from what community actually is, and it's kind of got very cliquey. It's kind of gotten very, oh, we're over here, we're over there, we're over there, we're over there. Oh, we don't go to that event because it's not really our vibe. We don't hang out with those people because that's not our vibe. And it's like, even down to like, you have like women, you have the queer community. Now it's like everything's being separated. When I was younger, it was kind of all together. At least the way I grew up, like if I went to a party, it was queer people, trans people, women. It was niggas there. Like it was, nobody was arguing. Everybody was chill. Now it's kind of like people are kind of trying to like, well, women need to be only in this space, or queer people are going to go in this space and we're going to be here, or why aren't we being included there? Why isn't this person included there? Why aren't black people included in this music section? Why are y'all only playing white house music? And it's just like, why can't we just go where we actually feel good at? Why can't we kind of sit down with each other, and instead of saying, why isn't this like this? Why can't we come down and say, oh, what can we do to change this to make this more comfortable for everybody now? Especially in the state of like the economy, the state of the world. Everybody wants to be heard. Everybody has an issue with everything. And I just feel like people kind of throw the word community around just to be like, well, we're doing this for the community. And it's like, are you really doing it for the community? I'm like, the community you live in has a fucking greenhouse. They have community gardens. They have a parks department. There's local parks that you go to all the time. And I'm like, I don't see anybody doing anything there. I don't see a lot of people doing free events. I don't see a lot of people doing appreciation events. I don't see a lot of people feeding people. I don't see a lot of water at a lot of these events. So it's like, you know, so it's like when people speak on like community, and it's like, I've been talking about community for the past 10 years. And I kind of feel like, you know, just on a personal note, like sometimes I get ignored, and I have like my friends, I have my peers, and I have supporters who like support, you know, what I say, what I speak up for. But I just feel like the word community is kind of just a buzzword now, and it's been used to kind of cause division. And I personally, excuse my language, I don't fuck with it. I just don't.
I'll try to follow that. Yeah, I think you touched on plenty of different elements of community. I agree that it's used as a buzzword pretty often, especially when people are marketing parties. They love to say that they have a strong community when it's really just familiar faces at times. But I'd say one element of community I try to focus on the most is connection at these events. I notice people often come with the same people, stay in the same corner, dance with the same people. You don't see people dancing together, talking together, or really bonding on anything as much anymore. It's just this party, then on to the next, and then good night. So there's ways that I encourage it. Again, I start with personalized invites. I try to make sure that people have a friend that they can, you know, speak to. If they come alone, I always offer introductions. People even DM me before my parties and say, I'm coming alone, like, can you introduce me to someone, or how do I know I'll have a good time? I'll often try to facilitate those interactions. I purposefully made a couple of invites, one ticket only in the beginning, to make sure people were there to, again, meet others and be open to interactions. there's plenty of ways you can do it in practice, but one specific way I do it, which also kind of helps me with content a little bit, is by flipping the booth around. I know it's a bit of a controversial choice, but I've noticed that when people aren't facing the DJ or recording the DJ, there's nothing in their hands, so they often look to the next person and relate or dance or do something because they're not facing someone. So I think that's an interesting solve at times. Of course, there's plenty of other ways to do it, but that's one way I'm doing it. So whenever I hear that people make new friends, even I've had 2 relationships come out of Third Floor Sounds, which is pretty awesome. But those things mean a lot to me rather than views or anything else like that.
Yeah, I also I think that community can be a buzzword because it's not really done authentically. Like I feel like a lot of times like curators will use the word community, but really what they're trying to say is customers. Like they're just it's the wrong C word, like So I mean community is real. There's real needs in real worlds, and having people at your parties is not necessarily, in my opinion, like community building unless you're intentionally giving stuff to the community. Like definitely we give entertainment to the people, which is like necessary in this world, but I just feel like doing free events, for example, like that is community service to a degree because it costs us money to throw events. Like whatever those costs are, like it's not free. So building yourself up to the point where you can do that, like that's another conversation, but that's just my
Yeah, I think community is overused. I'll agree with that. I think Tyler, you talked about just like starting small and being intentional in the beginning. I think like that people skip steps so often, and it shows. Like you can see the events that blew up too fast, and like you can see it when you attend them. You can see it when you DJ them, because it's like being invited into somebody's house and nobody is like nobody owns the house. Like nobody greets you. Like it's like whose house am I in? I'm just in this house, and we're all in this house looking around like whose house is it? And I think it's so important to be, if especially you're a DJ and a curator at the same time, it's your house, right? Like, and people are looking to you for that. So I think it's so important. When I started Ginger, like I opened every party, I closed every party. I was there from an hour before and there till the end, and I would walk around. As soon as I finished my set, I go and talk to people. What's your name? I appreciate you coming. Like you came early. I give people fans at the events and that kind of stuff. I get to know them. I see them again the next time. I'm like, yo, you came back. Like shout out, you drove all the way from Jersey. I remember you're from Jersey. Like it's about actually getting to know people as people, and these are like showing appreciation for your like these people paid money over, and like these parties are not cheap, right? So it's like people paid a lot of their money to come and see you and to be able to help you pay your bills. So it's like the least you can do is get to know them. So I think that part is like, if you can't, you don't have a community if you can't list 50 of the people that are your regulars at your event off the top of your head. Like you should know these people because they're like, that is your community. That's that. And if you can't do that, they really are just customers. Like you don't have this relationship with them. So that's what I have to say on that.
Show. Okay. We touched on it a little bit, but what are your thoughts on the state of New York nightlife right now? What are things that you like that you're seeing? Some things that maybe you think should get changed. And
we got like 2 seats up here. If anybody
yep.
wants to sit, I know y'all kind of.
We got about 3 seats up here, guys.
Yeah, 3.
Get comfy. Everyone scoot
We don't
down.
bite. You can come up. It's cool.
We'll time out for y'all. It's no problem. Yeah, right there.
You got one right here.
Yeah, this one right
Everyone
here.
get comfy. Are we good? So what are your guys' thoughts on New York nightlife right now? Things that you like that you're seeing, and what do you think is next in New York and nightlife?
I mean, as a native New Yorker, my intro to nightlife was Caribbean parties. And for those of you that didn't know, this whole idea of like having hosts for an event, getting free bottles, that's not a thing like in that culture. It's not at all. Like that might happen in like the space that we're in, but like if you go to like Astoria, you go to Flatbush, if you're hosting a party, you get a flyer with your name on it and only you can go. There's no guest list, there's no drink tickets, there's no bottle. Your flyer is your entry. Your entry is, okay, cool, you want to get into this party for free? Share this party and let people know you're actually going to be there and you're actually going to come so other people can be there. And I feel like right now people are kind of tired of going to events. And I know me personally, I am as well. And I talk to a lot of people online and outside, and they all complain about this one thing. They're tired of seeing people at a table drinking alcohol with their friends. They're supposed to be hosting the party and making sure the rest of us are having fun. And they drink the alcohol. When the alcohol is done, they leave. Another thing that needs to change is I feel like curators and DJs, as much as we hate when people complain about our events, if somebody's complaining about our event, we kind of do need to take a step back and maybe look at, all right, cool, if this is somebody that I don't know personally, like, because everybody around us is always going to tell us our events are lit. They're always going to tell us it's fun. But it's always the people that we don't know that, in my thoughts, have the strongest opinions. And I take their words more than anything. Like, I've had a lot of people come and tell me, like, yo, you don't book any queer DJs. And I'm like, I do book queer DJs. And they're like, no, you don't. And I'm like, and I look back and I'm like, all right, my last couple of events, I didn't book a queer DJ. So what do? I'll start booking a queer DJ and start including what these people are asking for, because at the end of the day, these are the people that are coming to my events. These are the people that are making my events lit. And their voice matters more than mine. Because at the end of the day, I'm not throwing a party for myself. If I was throwing a party for myself, I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be in Miami driving a Lambo or something right now. Like, you know? Like let's be real. Like, I'm not doing this because I want to be rich. If I was doing this because I wanted to be rich, I'd be rich already. I'm doing this because I put people before myself. And what I want to see in nightlife more is more DJs and more curators kind of put the people before who they are. Because without them, our ideas wouldn't really exist. Like, we wouldn't be throwing parties. Like, if we were throwing parties for ourselves, it would just be us in our bedrooms recording a set and maybe posting it online, maybe not even posting it online, maybe playing it for the people in our house. But it's like, without the audience, who are we? You know? So it's like their voice matters as much as it might be annoying, as much as it might get on our nerves, as much as sometimes it might be like, oh, what are you talking about? It's like their opinion and their voice does matter, because at the end of the day, they want to be comfortable in our space. So,
Is there any particular piece of nightlife you'd like us to touch on? Because I feel like there's a lot of things, like the venue side, bookings. Yeah.
I could keep going. It's just I don't want to talk too much.
Well, I mean, one thing I can speak to, you said like kind of what's next. I think it's really challenging right now for younger DJs or newer DJs to find opportunities. There are so many politics. There's seniority involved. There's even an age gap. I feel like there's like a jump. But I feel like the DIY route is really popular right now and like pretty liberating. There's so many things you can do, like with the equipment that's available now. There's people DJing on like the Brooklyn Bridge now, like every Friday or something like that. But I feel like it's an easy way to put yourself out there, invite friends, and not have to go through the politics. And there's so many things that come with getting booked at a particular venue. That also varies on the genre, the location. There's a whole Manhattan versus Brooklyn thing that works really different. But I feel like a lot of people are ditching clubs, ditching drinking, and really leaning into their own self-curated communities and parties. So it's really easy to do now. And it is really eye-catching online. So I think that's like where people are starting to move now, because, you know, again, they're not being paid enough. They can't find opportunities, and there's so many things wrong with the traditional DJ venue booking model right now that any of us could speak to. But yeah.
So your opinion on New York nightlife right now, things that you like. I want to keep it a little positive. And
Yeah.
Sorry.
And what do you think is next?
Well, I still firmly believe that New York is still probably the best place to party in the world. I think if you look hard enough, you'll find something that is exactly for you. And I think, you know, people still come here, musicians, artists, creatives, they still come here for the opportunity. And they find that opportunity, and they're able to succeed, and they're able to sustain a living out here. I mean, besides the crazy rent prices and everything like that, you can still come into New York and, you know, do something good for yourself. I do like what T said about just kind of the DIY approach to things. I think from the pandemic birthed a lot of creativity, and how DJs are making themselves more noticeable, or how they're expressing themselves. Because I think the constant in all of this is the music. The music will never leave. Everything else will evolve. Everything will come and go, but the music will always be there. And the music is literally like the vessel. This is what we're using to connect to the people, and this is how the people are connecting to us. So, I mean, in regards to nightlife, I do feel like the best over quantity, being able to maybe, there's a lot of lineups out there that have like 10 DJs and 10 hosts, and it's only a 5-6 hour party. I don't know how that even works out. And I really think that, you know, even for me personally, like I just did a party last Friday. It was just me and Ken Dollars, and like we sold the party out, and we had a great time kind of being able to express ourselves for more than just 1 hour or for 45 minutes. And I think that's really important for DJs, because life is crazy. It's hard to like get real practice in, I feel like, nowadays, unless you really dedicate the time to it. I feel like a lot of DJs are practicing out loud. They're going to the club, and their sets is actually like some of the first times they're trying things out. And that's not good. I do feel like, you know, I've been DJing for such a long time, 10, 15 years, that like I remember locking myself in the basement and just practicing different things before I had any opportunity to play in some club. And I think, you know, being able to, I'm losing my train of thought here, but like, quality over quantity is just being able to pull back. Like I think, you know, 2 to 3 DJs, 3 to 4 DJs, like being intentional with how you're programming. I think all of these guys here have that down pat. Like you guys have curated some excellent experiences, like whether I've been there personally or I've seen it from online. I think that's the future of nightlife, where the people who really focus on the quality of the experience and the consumer journey, those are the people that are going to outlast all of the things that you see right now that are probably getting bashed.
Yeah, I think it's not like a New York specific thing, but I'm so happy more DJs have their own events. And I think that trend is going to continue, and I think the DJ events are going to win, if I'm being honest. Like, the biggest events in the country right now are thrown primarily by DJs. And it's not an accident, because I can tell you, everybody sitting up, like, when we're coming up with lineups, I have like 5, 6, 7 variations of the lineup. I'm sending it to friends. Does this make sense? Like, this person, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm thinking through, like, what's their mind state going to be? Who's gonna feed off of each other's energy? Who knows each other? Like, how does this all work? I'm telling you that non-DJs are not thinking through that level, and it shows when you come to the party and everything just makes sense. Like and I don't want the crowd to ever notice it. That's the thing. Like, you shouldn't perceive these things, but it should flow. Like, it should just make sense. And I think DJs understand that at a level that's just so intuitive to them. And I feel like that is the trend that's going to continue. Like, I really think DJ events are going to win. I encourage every DJ, if you are interested in doing it, start your own event. Like, it's hard, it's not easy, it's not always glamorous, but like it's so rewarding. And I love what every DJ is doing right now, to be honest.
I have like I agree with what you're saying. I do have a question that like I kind of want y'all to answer too, is like, if every DJ starts their own party, like who's left to collaborate with? You get what I'm saying? Because I feel like when you do that, there's still going to be people who are non-DJs that are going to throw events, and now it's like you're just adding more to the market as opposed to collaborating. If I said like I don't want to start my own party, I just want to be like loyal to Ginger or loyal to Omar's World, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, do you feel like more DJs starting their own party helps the market and less non-DJs throwing parties? Is that what you're implying, or?
So, like I said, I don't think it's like, if it's in your heart to start a party, I want you to do that. So for some people, that's just not their thing, and like I totally respect that. Like, it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of other logistic stuff that is not related to DJing at all, right? Like, it's a lot of like accounting and shit that you don't want to deal with. So like, I'm not saying everybody should do it, and I don't ever believe. I always move through life with like an abundance mentality. Like, I never believe that everything is like you add one person, it subtracts another. I think everybody could have their own event. We'll be okay. Like, it's fine. Like, there's so many people in this city and so many people in this world that's like, I never get stressed about one more person joining something. And to be honest, like, some people are in it for the wrong reason. If they get pushed out, hell yeah, like that's cool. Like, so I'm like, at the end of the day, everything comes out in the wash. Like, if you're not putting in the work, this city will push you out. Like, that's the best thing about New York. You can't go to a bad restaurant because if you're trash, you
Yeah,
it's done.
I think just to piggyback off of that, like I think New York. I think New York is one of the most abundant cities for DJing, for music, for any type of art that you want to get into. I feel like New York is one of the top. Like I lived in LA, I lived in Atlanta, but like nothing compares to New York City in terms of opportunities. Like again, you have to, your heart has to be in it. Like when you think about doing the things that you're doing, like really ask yourself, like why am I doing this? Like what's the real purpose behind doing whatever you're doing? So if that's like producing music, it's like produce music. Like you don't need to necessarily have a party in order to be like successful. There's your success is what you determine success to be. And like if you're trying to make it financially in the music industry, like for me, I moved from corporate into doing this. So like for me, like I primarily want to produce music. That is my primary goal. I wish I could just wake up in the morning and produce music all day long and go to sleep. But I have to like align my interests with other things that I do and my other skills that I have. So for me, doing events, like that combines all of my skills into one, and I'm perfectly happy doing it. And like I can wake up in the morning knowing like, okay, I'm doing something I actually want to do. So I think,
it's a great perspective. You got to be able to tie it all in because once you start your own party, you really have to think about all the logistical side of things, like when you book the DJs and budgeting, and then working with venues, knowing how to speak to venues, how to secure dates, and how to plan out your marketing and all these different things. And you really end up having to create a team. So I think like what you said is figuring out what works for you definitely makes a lot of sense.
Ethan, you mentioned DJs throwing events, and I think there's two types of content if we're going to make content, like personal DJ content and event-based content, right? And I'm sure a lot of our audience are DJs or event producers too. So I want to talk about content and what are your tips on content? How important do you think content is for personal DJ, your personal DJing, and also the events that you guys organize? And I actually want to start with Tyler.
That's a loaded one. So your question is, I guess, general tips or advice to make like quality content, but any other considerations with that? Okay, so I want to speak generally to content right now. I think there's too much of it. I feel like everyone's trying to do it. Some people for the right reasons, some for the wrong reasons. Everyone is trying to stand out, so I really empathize with them, like everyone wants to have a TikTok, a YouTube page, an Instagram page. But you really got to, again, curate it, be careful, and take the right steps to start. So for me, I wanted to start with a platform that wasn't just for myself, but for other up-and-coming DJs or people in my circle who I thought were deserving of a spotlight. So again, this was an event-based series first. As for how to do it, I mean, there's so many different ways. Invest in, when you can invest in high-quality equipment, I feel like that's one piece that's great. Though you can really get away with iPhone content these days. It's like way better than it should look. I'd say find the appropriate space, as you were speaking to event logistics earlier, like there's so many things to factor in with like noise complaints, capacity. So picking the right space, which can at first be your bedroom with a couple friends, which I would advise against because everyone's doing that. But finding unique, appropriate spaces, filming it in a quality way, and again, sharing a set that's unique if you're going in the set route, but trying to stand out in some way that is, again, authentic, unique to you, showcases your style. Don't do things to capture attention. Do something that you're genuinely interested in, that you're passionate about. A lot of people are, currently going for the mashup route where they're spamming stems or repeating, transitions you've heard at clubs and copying others, which is crazy. But again, I would say don't aim for views at first. People will eventually see your talent and authenticity when you are sharing that content. So that's generally where I would start if you're going the event-based way.
I mean, one quick thing to add, like for me recently, I've invested a lot into my YouTube. So like long form content, I feel like I definitely got caught in the short form content for a while, like TikTok clips and stuff like that, and Instagram clips. And definitely like a good amount of my clips did gain a lot of traction, but to be honest, like nothing has been giving me the ROI as YouTube has. Like not in terms of like dollars in my pocket. I just mean like people can go on my YouTube and watch my whole set as a DJ and be like, "Oh, like I like this guy's DJing." Whereas if it was just a clip, it's like I'm playing someone else's song, or maybe I'm playing my own song, but still like, it's like you can't really tell someone's skills by, or like what kind of music they're going to play just based on one TikTok. So I really think YouTube is like the place where you can actually express yourself as if you're a DJ or a music producer and kind of like be creative and show a little bit more. And then the fans on YouTube are just much different because think about it, they're seeing you as more of you, more as of what your creative output is. So versus just scrolling on TikTok or Instagram, you just see like a clip and it's like, this is a cool song,
Actually, I want to elaborate on that too. I feel like a lot of people are afraid to put out full mixes. They just share the particular highlight or big moment that people reacted to, which can get you attention to a certain extent. I feel like the people that succeed that way, like if you really see what's going on behind the scenes, they're not succeeding in the way you think. But I would say don't be afraid to put out a full mix, even if there are mistakes or you're not getting people like raging behind you, putting out, I think, a full body of work is more important, and it really showcases what you can do. And I think it also, again, I kind of spoke about this earlier, but it's more authentic when you show something in its full entirety, when you're mixing, you're blending, you're showing a full body of work, different genres. So don't be afraid to put out things that aren't as, eye-catching, viral, or exciting. Just like put it out and you'd be surprised who's really watching.
Yo, I think TikTok has like messed up our heads a little bit. Like, okay, a lot of it, but I think like you can't lose track. Like, and then people say this all the time on the internet. I'm not like making anything. I'm not saying anything like particularly novel here, but like you can't lose the perspective of like 1,000 views is a lot of people. Like you can't fall into that trap of like if I get less than 1 million views, I'm a failure. That's crazy. Like. And I've told myself that's crazy. Like and I think like when you start to chase that, you just start to do weird stuff on the internet, and like that's where it's just like it doesn't really serve anything. Because then it's like you might go viral for something you didn't even like, and you manipulate it to that, and now you're that to 1 million people, and it's like now you're gonna perform that character for the next like 3 years? Like what do you do? So it's like it's so much better to just be happy with 800. You never know who is in that 800. Like you might get the best booking of your life off that 800 views. Literally has happened to me multiple times. I think a post flop. I get a text the next day. The party I wanted to play for years hits me up, and I'm like, I know that connection happened. So it's like those numbers will just completely throw off your head. So just do stuff you like and be very authentic. Because I'm telling you, you go viral for the. I'm scared of this all the time. Like I don't want to go viral for the wrong thing, and then like people. You have to make the choice. Do I double down on that and like make money off it or whatever and like hate what I do? Or like maybe I just shouldn't have posted that, So.
For me, I think my favorite form of content in reality is word of mouth. So I do an event. I've been doing it. This year will be the 11th year and I don't even like calling it an event. It's more of like a community gathering. So every year I get sometimes 600, 800, 1,500. Like it varies every year. But I gather all my DJ friends, event organizers, photographers, DJs, models, people trying to get in the creative field, people trying to figure out what they want to do. And I bring them to Prospect Park and I tell them like, yo, like this isn't a party. I don't got no liquor for y'all. I got a whole bunch of water and a whole bunch of food. What y'all could do is kind of use this space to actually get to know each other. A lot of people follow each other on Instagram. They don't talk to each other on Instagram. Like I have people that followed me like probably like 5 years ago. We've never DM'd each other, never saw each other in person, never shared an interaction at all. And I feel like a lot of the content that TikTok and Instagram has kind of confused us to think is content, the real content is really what happens in real life. Like most of the stuff that like a lot of my audience, I don't post DJ mixes. I don't post content. People always telling me, why you don't post fit pics? Why you not doing this and that? And I'm like, I don't need to because I'm like, people know me, respect me, and they love me in real life. If I start to do that stuff online, I'm kind of garnering a whole bunch of people that they're not there for my true cause. They're there because they're like, yo, this flyer had 1,500 likes. That's something we need to go to. When the reality is like, there's a lot of parties that only get 80 likes, and a lot more people show up. A lot more people aren't on their phones. A lot more people are drinking less. A lot more people are, you go to a party. I remember one night I was at a bar. Somebody came up to me and was like, yo, what's your name? And I looked at them. I was like, the fuck? But then I thought about it. I'm like, this isn't what a lot of us call the scene. I'm like, yo, this is what in the corporate world they call IRL, in real life experiences. And I feel like social media has taken us away from like the in real life experience to the point where it's like, I don't even consider it content. I consider it consistency. Because if you're not consistent, you could do a bunch of videos for 6 months. The minute you stop, that's it. You got to figure out something else after that. And I feel like everybody's kind of chasing the high of, like you were saying, like, yo, 1,000 likes isn't enough. I need 50K. But it's like, yo, like, that's 1,000 people that watch your shit. Like, you threw a party and you couldn't even get 100 people to come, but 1,000 people watched you. Like, make it make sense, you know? So I like word of mouth. I feel like we need to go back to interacting with each other more in person, interacting with each other more in real life, and kind of stray away from the social media stuff. Because the minute you put a camera up, a lot of people start doing a lot of strange things for attention. And I'm not talking about just the audience, DJs included, event organizers included, even artists nowadays. A lot of people are doing, you see everybody starting to stream now. Everybody wants to be a streamer now. Like, a lot of things are getting strange, and a lot of people aren't doing these things. Because I tell a lot of my DJ friends, and a few of them in here, they hear me talk about it a lot. You just need to be intentional with every single thing you do. If you're not intentional, people will read that. And when people read that, God gonna read it. And if God reading it, listen, his hand is stronger than you think. And sometimes it don't come as a hit. Sometimes it'll come as, yo, I got mad people fucking with my shit. And then you post that one video and people like, yo, that shit is ass. And that's when you get that wake-up call, like, oh, shit. Like, all right, I kind of need to. But guess what? Everybody in real life, you got those people that'll hit you up and be like, yo, don't worry about what they're saying. Like, you just fucked up here. You just need to fix this, do this and that. Because in my opinion, I'm like, this content stuff, like, is not going to last that long. After streaming, it's over. That's it.
I've just got one little piece about the content. I think it's really valuable if you guys lock in with like a particular videographer or photographer for the events that you do, for the sets that you do, the content that you create, and develop a relationship with them. Kind of like how rappers or singers like lock in with one producer and they create like an amazing album together. I think there's a lot of value in that. I've seen it like with the stuff that we do. So yeah, just being able to like, either if it's somebody who's learning or somebody who's already established, but being able to build that relationship goes a very long way, and knowing that there's somebody you can rely on from the quality of the product to the turnaround time and so on and so on. Yeah, that's all.
Our time's running out a little bit, but I just want to know, we wear many hats, right? All of us here, DJ, producer, all of that, right? Event producer, everything. What do you do to keep going? What keeps you going? And do you see longevity in what you're doing?
I love this shit, man. So I do this. The thing about DJing and throwing events and being in deep love with music and people, like, it's an evergreen career. Like, I was able to do this when I was 16. I'm going to be able to do this when I'm 60. So I play it as the long game. I've always viewed it as a long game. I think post-pandemic was like when it really hit me that, you know, I was so fixated on trying to be this like young prodigy, the most successful person at this very young age, and like I got over that quick once I started realizing I'm about to be 25, I'm about to be 26, whatever. I'm like, and then I realized like I'm chasing the wrong thing. So the journey is where all of the fun is. So even just being right here is a part of the reason why I love what I do. It's like, look at all these people everybody came across, and now you're like, oh, we have these things in common, and you know, we all are kind of pushing and looking to accomplish things in our career. So that's what keeps me going. The love of the game, honestly, the love of the game, the love of the music. The music has always been like the focal point, and the people that surround it, you know.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of the same. Like, for sure, like growing up, my biggest dream was to be a music producer, a DJ, and I'm happy that I'm living that dream right now. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's not easy. Like it really isn't. Like making music your full-time job. Like for me, I'm still finding my pace with it. You know, it's not. Some months will be great. Some months won't be as great. But like overall, I love what I do. I love music. I love being around people and making people happy through my music. So yeah, I think for me, I'm gonna keep doing it. Like this is all this is all I've wanted to do ever. So it's for me, it's like this is what I'm just gonna keep doing.
Yeah, we have very similar stories. It's crazy. I like jokingly tell because my parents were both pretty into music. My dad was a musician. I'm always like, why did you give me this curse? Because the music industry can be so brutal sometimes. But I'm not gonna sugarcoat it like it is. But it's like, it's so hard to step away from it, man. Like I've retired like 7 times, right? Like, and at this point, if I tell my friends, they're like, all right, cool, we'll see you at the next party. I'm like, yeah, you're right. But I think it's like, for me, it's such an emotional thing. I'm a very emotional person. I'm just let y'all know. And for me, I put so much of my emotions into the events that sometimes when it doesn't go the way I see it, like that shit really like messes me up. But then it's like around the corner, there's always the one that like brings you back. It's like I'm very spiritual too, and like I feel like God gives you that next one to remind you, like, yo, this is your gift. You can't run from it. And I swear, every time I think I'm about to quit somebody, like Omar books me for a party, and I'm like, yo, this is why I do this. Like, I'm not even lying. So it's like, I don't think I could quit if I could. Like, I don't think it's possible. So it's just in us.
Yeah, I mean, as for what keeps me going, you know, it's the feedback, the positive feedback I get from people who come to my events. You know, it's working with DJs that I look up to. It's playing bigger stages, different events. It'll always be exciting for me, I think. And there's always more music to explore. I'm really in it for the music. There's old music I haven't explored. There's new music I'm still being put onto. As for like the longevity piece of it, one point of advice I would say is like, when I started Third Floor Sounds, I was doing everything myself. I literally learned how to shoot on YouTube. I mean, I taught myself how to DJ. I was low-key doing the photography. I was doing the bookings. I was doing everything. And I think when I started to lean on other people, that's when it became a lot more manageable for me, because after every event, I would pass out, not even think about anything or open my phone for the next 2 days. But now I feel fine at the end of the day because there's someone else helping me pack up, or, you know, passing me the SD card, or helping me color grade, or doing whatever it might be. So now I'm in a much better position. So when you find the right people, establish those relationships with videographers, both, you know, new or experienced, that's when it becomes a lot more manageable. But yeah, I don't see myself stopping anytime soon.
For me, it's just people. I love people. Like, my grandmother, she was a librarian for 36 years. I grew up reading books. I grew up like talking to kids since I was a kid. Like, I was reading at I think I was reading at a 6th grade level when I was in the 2nd grade, because I was reading novels in kindergarten because my grandmother would not let me watch television, but she would let me listen to music. But I fell in love with people. Like, when I was younger, like, a lot of people might not know this, but I was homeless for like 12 years. Like, my first crib was COVID. And like, even that was like controversial. People thought I was like scamming and shit to get my crib. But I was like, I was on unemployment just like everybody else. I don't want to say all of y'all, because I don't know who was and who wasn't, but I was on unemployment, you feel me? Like, and my first crib was 2021. And when I look back now, I look back on the past 10 years of my life, and despite a lot of people I fell out with, a lot of people I learned didn't share the same values that I shared, I always stayed true to myself. And I put people before me all the time. And even recently, I've been having this convo with my girl. Like, I've been having the thought of like, yo, if I can't have you around my children, I don't want to be around you at all. And that kind of, I feel the same way with people in general. It's like, if you can't have somebody around your friends, if you can't have somebody around you that actually makes you feel good, actually uplifts you, can actually constructively tell you like, yo, you kind of messed up here, this is something you could do right, then like, what are we really doing this for? Like, everything that we do, as much as we might be doing it for ourselves, it's for people. Like, we're bringing people together more than we think. You were just saying like 2 relationships spewed out of Third Floor Sounds. Like, when I first started No Negativity, I had somebody that had a kid. Like, so it's like people are like creating real life experiences through us because at the end of the day, we started what we wanted to do by wanting to bring people together. So as long as people are alive, I'm gonna keep doing this shit. So that's just where I'm at with it.
Let's hear for our panelists, please. Let's do a question, right? Anyone have any questions? Let's break the ice. You
want to pass them a mic?
You gotta come up right to this mic here. Or we gotta move it. Yeah, yeah.
Yo.
Yo. There we go.
Yes, sir. What's good, everyone? My name's Uche. Aspiring DJ, creative, all that. I kind of wanted to like zoom in out a little bit in terms of just like overall sustainability as a creative, especially in New York where things are expensive, where the market is super competitive. Like, how do you? I don't know. Like, what are ways that you're able to sustain yourself financially or even just overall, like as a human being? And yeah.
This is a super real question. Like for me, I'm a full time music, like in this music world full time. So, for me, I'm still trying to figure out like consistency. Like that is a hard part. Like, do I do a monthly show or do I do many monthly shows or do I do one show every 3 months? And it's kind of just like every single day. It's like you kind of like wake up and like it's the drawing board. You have to like reset the drawing board. You know what I mean? Like, so it's pretty tough. I would say. But what I've been doing is definitely trying to get consistency. So like the IP that I have, like Coffee with Omar, Sufi Sessions, Omar's World. I'm like, let me take this as much as I can go without giving up on it and starting something new. I'm just like trying to stay consistent in my IPs, and then also just like being very meticulous about equity and like my ownership in everything, and making sure that like at the end of the day, I'm getting what I need to get in order to keep doing what I need to do. Because at the end of the day, like if I'm not able to pay my bills and take care of my family, then I can't be doing any of this. So that's just the reality of the situation. So I hope that answers a little bit.
Yeah, I think part of the reason that I have my own event is because of the sustainability aspect. Is like when you are fully gigging as a DJ, it's like you can't control when your next check comes. You can't project your revenue super well. Like at the end of the day, you might have a month where it's like for whatever reason your name just didn't come up in the hat, and you're like, damn, like I got rent. Like that's crazy. So the rent doesn't stop. So I think to Omar's point, like owning your IP, also being able to like get as much out of those things as possible. Like I know it's easy to kind of like it's easy to shit on content, but like you can get a lot out of one event if you're smart about how I think you should think about everything and like how can I maximize the moment that I have. So it's like, okay, one party might get you X amount of clips. It might get you like you can spread those things a little bit further so that you don't feel like you have to do something every week. Like you can be present every week without doing something every week, if that makes sense. And then the point T had about the team, like it's essential. Like you can't this race by yourself is impossible. So like you have to just build out your team, your community, people that you can pour into and will pour into you back.
Yeah, one thing I want to quickly touch on, I think I don't DJ full-time yet. I have a full-time job that allows me for the flexibility to do what I want. So for one, I think I'm in a really privileged position, but if you can find a job that is able to, sustain your lifestyle while also allowing for time to explore and build yourself up as a DJ, I encourage that in the beginning for sure. But I can't speak to it fully yet, but I think the path to sustainability as a full-time DJ or event producer is having control over the ticket sales. I think, again, when you're DJing other people's parties or being like, I guess, more of a feature or a guest DJ, it's really difficult because, again, you're waiting for the next person to ask you for to be on a lineup. But I'd say building up that first, coming up with a concept, building up the demand for that. You could always start by throwing small free events, but then finding spaces where you can potentially sell tickets. They can be affordable, to start, but I'd say reach out to or establish connections with smaller venues like 75 cap, 100 cap, where you can charge, for a decent ticket price, but then you'd be surprised how quickly that can scale when you are in control of those tickets.
For me, it's plain and simple, man. Get a job. Everybody keep asking me, yo, what do you think I should do right now? Get a job. Get a job. You can't, like, if it's anything I've learned in the past 5 years alone, even dealing with COVID, coming out of COVID, get a job. A job will save you way more than you think. Some of the most successful DJs that I know right now work a job. They might not say they work a job, but they work a job. It just don't look cool to work a job. You feel me? Like, and it's crazy that people even say that, like, it don't look cool to work a job. But it's like, when you turn 30, 35, like, when you start having kids, it's like, if your shit ain't take off, you need a job. Like, you need a job, bro. Like, when I first started off throwing events, like, before I even was DJing, I was only throwing events and being a promoter. I was making $100 a week as a promoter. $100 a week. I'm bringing out 300-400 people to the club. $100 a week. But guess what? You know how much I'm making at my job? I was riding a bike, clocking 50 miles a day, working as a bike messenger in New York City for 9 years, making $1,500 a week, sometimes $3K a week. What did I do with that money? Oh, okay, cool. Let me figure out how to create with this bread. Because guess what? My rent's paid. Now all this other money that I have, I could use it to invest in my ideas, invest in my craft, invest in my dreams. A job is the most important, and especially in this day and age with this economy, I tell every creative that writes me, a job is the most important thing for you to have right now. If your shit ain't take off yet, get a job. No cap. It might sound harsh, it might sound crazy, but seriously, get a job. Don't, like, this shit is not for the weak, bro. This shit is not for the weak. A net 30, you gotta wait 30 days to get paid? Come on, bro. A job, you get paid bi-weekly or every week, bro. I'm telling you, a job is going to save your life. I just got a job. I'm going to say it straight to y'all right now. I just got a job. I just started working again. Why? Not because, I'm not making money as a DJ. I'm just tired of waiting on money. Because that's what this really is in this world. You waiting on money. Get a job, bro. Trust me. You good.
Let's do another question. One more.
So this is more so to piggyback off of that question. I want to keep it like similar, but it is a bit financial because I'm in a similar situation where I do music full time as well. So I tour DJ and produce, and I also have an event company. And one thing I'm running into right now is sponsorships because I live in Miami. Well, I live in Florida, but my market is Miami, and I've also done events out here as well. But as far as Miami, there isn't a lot of venues, DJs, opportunity to make things work, and I'm hearing a lot about trying to make it sustainable as far as sponsorships, as far as like the event side. And I agree with the job aspect. Right now, it's a little different for me to go and do the job thing because I tour for work, and I'm always traveling. So the job search would be a bit more limited. But as far as what was it? A remote job. Oh no, yeah, yeah, 1,000%. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, yeah, 1,000%. But like, even the way I travel, sometimes like I don't even have internet. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Service or anything like that. But in as far as sponsorships, how do you guys feel about sponsorships or looking for sponsors or even having even the search for a sponsor for a specific themed or curated event?
This is a common question, by the way. We get this question all the time at Behind the Booth, always.
We all looking for money, right?
No.
All right. So the first thing I would say is you got to be able to contextualize the work that you do and put it into a pitch deck. That's like the first thing. So if you know a designer, or if you could design it yourself, or you can do it in there's some Adobe app for that. Definitely get that done first. Like, it'll show the numbers, it'll show the influence, it'll show what your event or concept is about. It'll have a contact page, it'll have everything there. So you'll be able to just deliver that to different people. So when you're out touring and you meet somebody who's, you know, head of marketing at this company, then that'll be your ticket in to kind of like start the conversation. After that, it's massaging the relationship. It's really about relationships. It's not about how fire your shit is at this point. It's really about the relationship with the person at that brand or company. I mean, I've dealt with that a lot. I have like a festival for Juneteenth that, you know, for the past 5 years been trying to find money, and we've gotten money, you know. But it's really those two things are really important, and I'll kind of pass it off. I feel like you guys have more insight too.
Personally, what I learned is it's really strictly mostly relationships. So like, I didn't start getting sponsorships for any of my events until like 2 years ago, and I got that by the grace of God through an agency. So most of these things run through an agency. It's never always directly the brand, unless you know somebody in that specific department that handles that. So like, even as far as like with clothing, I feel like with clothing and like footwear and stuff like that, it's hard because there's like layers to it. So there'll be like a marketing department, but that marketing department only deals with a certain space of the brand. So like, if you want to talk about like Adidas or Nike, they all have skateboarding, basketball, football, soccer, baseball. Like, it's all separate. And most of the times we get denied for sponsorships because our event and our lifestyle personally doesn't kind of align with what they have going on at the moment. So it's like, it starts with a pitch deck, but really is going out and trying to find people that work at these agencies, because the agency is going to help you a little bit more opposed to like trying to hit up a brand directly and talking to them yourself. Because the brand is just going to look at us and be like, oh, this kid has an event. They just want some money. We're already giving out money. It's Q3, Q2, Q3. Like, we don't got no money for them. Yeah. Sometimes they'll just give you product. And sometimes even having product is good, because you could use that to give to another brand and say, hey, we've done this with this person already. Sometimes it doesn't work when it's a competitor brand, and that's another thing you got to like keep an eye out on for. Because like, you can't go to Adidas and say, yo, we did this thing with Nike. They're going to look at you and be like, all right, so why you writing us? Like, you can continue working with Nike, you know? So it's more like relationships and going into spaces that you wouldn't normally go into, because a lot of that money are in those rooms. Like, a lot of the sponsorships and agency people I've met going to like those free open bar events that people love going to drink at. I don't go there to drink. I go there to try to get contacts and try to invite people out to my events. Like, I don't just jump the gun and just say, hey, I want a sponsorship from me. I'm like, oh, okay, you work here, such and such. Can I invite you to my event? You invite. Sometimes they won't come the first few times, and then at one time they do come. If they like it, sometimes they end up reaching out to you and asking, how can we supply, or how can we give you budget, or what can we do to help? So that. Smaller brands too. Yeah, I was gonna say, go to the smaller brands as well. Like, even sometimes like smaller clothing brands, like in Florida, I'm pretty sure there's like a bunch of shops or like boutiques, thrift stores, like
a bit. We like with my company, like, we do have a deck, and we've been, you know, pitching, and we've got like some, like, you know, rolling papers, or like we also did an event with like Subi and whatnot, but Miami's not really. It sounds cool, but it's not like, and I'm like an anomaly in Miami in the sense to where like out here there's a bunch of me's and you guys and everybody's doing something, and it's really just, it's like they're not even getting many offers or people asking these questions to do these type of things, because there's not really the space for it.
Well, I know somebody you can hit up, so
for sure.
After this, we're gonna chat.
Nah, word too.
The only thing I will add is, when you do get these opportunities, you gotta like go beyond what's expected, because that's how you'll get those recurring partnerships. Like, we worked with a speaker brand a couple months ago, and the deliverable was like relatively simple. It was just like a quick recap video, 30 seconds, but I had a professional videographer come in and shoot it. Like, it looked like a commercial by the time we delivered it. So they ended up sharing that with the marketing team. The CMO found out about it. So that's why we're continuing to work with them, because we did beyond what was expected.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, guys. Let's give a big round of applause for our panelists, please. Thank you guys so much for coming out.
I just want to give you all a chance. If you guys got anything coming up that you want to promote, just want to pass that along.
Yeah, my event Ginger is celebrating 4 years next Friday. We're actually doing an event every week starting on the 15th all the way through the 6th of September, because I don't know. So 4 events for 4 years. So pull up. You got 4 chances. So I hope to see you all there.
I know I posted it and I said August 30th, but I'm like getting ready for a tour because I also DJ for artists as well. So August 29th will be year 11 for No Negativity. Bringing it back to Prospect Park. Past 2 years, I've done it indoor. I had a sponsorship. It was cool, but I didn't really like it. It wasn't really what I wanted. So we're moving things back to Prospect Park. Be free food, free water. Just like I said before, a lot of water. The past 3 years, we've done over 1,200 waters, and none of the water gets wasted, which is what I love. So if you guys want to come, it's not a party. You could bring a blanket. You could bring a Frisbee. You could bring a soccer ball. You could bring your kids. Like, people brought their kids. You could bring your dog. Like, it's a really, really chill, nice event. And it's pretty cool to get away from everything that's going on in, like, nightlife or at work or maybe at home or a relationship. Like,
Go subscribe to Third Floor Sounds on YouTube. We're putting out some really cool sets this month, and I'm playing at Bossa Nova Civic Club on Wednesday. If anyone wants to check out the more underground Bushwick scene, so yeah, come out.
I have my show Omar's World on August 23rd at 99 Scott, so that'll be my biggest show actually that I've ever done. So I'm nervous, but yeah. I'll see.
You got this.
One more time, let's give it up, please. Make sure you check them out. Make sure you support their events. And if you don't already, make sure you follow Behind the Booth as well at behind.the.booth on Instagram.
And big up Sound Collective, man. Big up Sound Collective for having us, man.
Thank you, Sound Collective, so much.
Appreciate you.
Thank you for having us. We'll be having another Behind the Booth as well September 3rd. So make sure you guys check that out. But thank you guys for coming. Get home safe. One more time, give our panelists a big round of applause. Thank you, guys.
This going to be on YouTube, by the way, as soon as we're done.
Shout out to y'all for coming and spending your time with us.
Yes. Thank you.